And we are back. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna use my phone if I'm gonna show you a video of something. I feel like that might make the most sense moving forward. Just because we're trying to trick YouTube. That's where we're at. But I feel like the video I was trying to watch, I'm not sure how many people actually were able to see it. So I'm gonna play it again because I did delete all remnants of everything that just happened. So with that being said, the video that I showed was a clip from Imitation of Life, and this movie is distressing, traumatic. What up, baby Ethernet? I don't want to. I feel like I want to say trigger warning for mixed people lying, trigger warning for abusive language, trigger warning for a white person using the N word with the hard R, and YouTube is not censoring it, which feels wild. Thank you so much, Tay. But yeah, with that being said, the clip is from a movie called Imitation of Life. And I'm sharing this clip as kind of like a way to root something that I've been seeing when it comes to Meghan Markle. I also want to say for anyone here that's a fan of Meghan Markle, you may not appreciate this video, and that is okay with me as long as it's okay with you. If you're not okay with not appreciating this video, I am very sorry. I hope you find something fun to watch. But this video is very much about talking about Meghan Markle, talking about white passing people, talking about mixed identity, talking about erasure, talking about trauma, talking about colonialism. Like, this is not going to be easy breezy on here, so I just want to be super candid that like this video may be triggering for some folk. And if you don't want to be triggered today, if you don't want to think too much today, if you want to just kind of, do something else, please. Without further ado, this is a clip from Imitation of Life. I'm sharing this clip hoping that you'll see that there is a way that historically the white passings have operated very much like horse blinders, very much I don't want to be black, very much I'm white, very much, don't recognize me. Just showing a way that like showing that historically we're in a different moment because again, this is not a one-off thing. There are many white passing people who disappear from their families, who don't acknowledge their black family members, who don't acknowledge their black ancestry, who don't really care about black people and genuinely do not want anyone to think that they're black. And so with that being said, that is the point of me showing you this video and this clip because it's topical.
I don't have any little colored girl in my class. But they said 3B. This is 3B, isn't it? Why, there's Sarah Jane. There's my baby. You mean Sarah Jane Johnson? Yes, ma'am. I'm Mrs. Johnson. Sarah Jane, baby, I brought you here. Sarah Jane, we didn't finish. Sarah Jane, wait. Sarah Jane, baby, wait. Sarah Jane. Sarah Jane, wait. Wait. Now, let me do it. Now, put your coat on. What do you want to do, catch pneumonia?
I hope I do. I hope I die.
Honey, nothing's hurt. You shouldn't have let them.
They didn't ask me. Why should I tell them?
Because that's what you are, and it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Why do you have to be my mother? Why?
She old folks. Busboys, cooks, chauffeurs. Like Hawkins. No, thank you. I've seen your nice young folks. I don't want to fight with you, honey. Not tonight.
A mother a nigger. Toby! Toby!
What difference does it make? You love me.
All the kids talking behind my back.
No.
Are you black?
No, I'm as white as you.
You're lying!
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Found out I'm not white. Because you keep telling the world I'm your daughter. Anything you can spoil, you spoil. Stop that. Stop it. Don't you talk to your mother like that. I told you, lies don't help none. This always happens when you lie. It wouldn't if you and I was around. Sarah J. Johnson, you put your clothes on and get out of this place.
Say, honey, who is this character?
I don't know. Never seen her before in my life. Now quit lying. You tell me you had a respectable job in the library.
Hey, what's going on here?
Oh, she must be crazy. Tell her my name's Judy Brands. Honey, nobody's all right about anything. Nobody's all wrong. Now, if you don't want to be a teacher, all right. We'll talk about what you want to be. Honey, Miss Laura gets home from Italy in the morning, and I'm sure... Sarah Jane? Sarah Jane? To bother you. You won't. Not ever again. Spoil things for me here, and I'll just go somewhere else, and I'll keep on going until you're so tired. Baby, I am tired. I'm as tired as I ever want to be. You mind if I sit down? Yes, I do. Somebody's coming. That's why the door is unlocked. I'll only stay a minute. I just want to look at you. That's why I came. Are you happy here, honey? Are you finding what you really want? I'm somebody else. I'm white. White. White! Does that answer you? I guess so. Then please, Mama, will you go? And never do this again. And if by accident we should ever pass on the street, please don't recognize me. I won't, Sarah Jane. I promise. I settled all that in my mind. There's just one thing I wish from you. What? If you're ever in trouble, if you ever need anything at all, if you ever want to come home and you shouldn't be able to get in touch with me, will you let Miss Laura know? Yes. Yes, anything. Now, will you go? That wasn't all I wanted, honey. It was only part of it. What's the rest? I'd like to hold you in my arms once more, like you were still my baby. All right, Mama. All right. Sarah Jane. Oh, my baby. My beautiful, beautiful baby. I love you so much. Nothing you ever do can stop that. Mama. Oh, Mama. Mama. I'm just tired, Miss Laura. Awfully tired. Annie! Annie! No! We've been waiting. I'm going home to live with my Lord. It's my mother. Bang, bang. I'm telling you, it's my mother. Mama. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Mama, do you hear me?
No, she don't.
I'm sorry.
Sick. Sick.
I'm sorry, Mama. Mama, I did love you. We're searching. Searching, don't. Miss Laura. Miss Laura, I killed my mother. I killed her. I wanted to come home. Now, I don't even know how much I wanted to come with us.
So, yeah, listen, I showed y'all that clip because I do think it's topical. I feel like the same way Sarah Jane Mother was trying to get her daughter to live in her reality, and Sarah Jane said, I'd rather pretend to be white. Like that's like she literally decided for the rest of her life she's gonna pretend to be white. And her mother kept on trying to get her to live a full life, live a whole life, not have to hide. And she said no. That is a story as old as time. There are many white passing people. If you look on YouTube, there are so many white people realizing that their white family member, ancestor was passing, and they found out later in life. And it's because that person wanted to be white. That is the whole point of passing. That's the whole point of straightening your hair when it's not already a type 1, type 2. That's the whole point of it. The whole point of marrying a white person, especially a white person who lives in a castle. Like, there's a reason why people do certain things. And I want to be candid. Just as much as I believe mixed people can pass for all types of races, I do believe that like the act of passing is labor. Like you don't like no one just passes because there's many reasons why people think someone is or is not black. And again, it's the way that Meghan Markle has been candid about being white passing, about being a fly on the wall, as oftentimes mixed folks do describe our identity, because depending on how my hair looks, I'll hear someone say something anti-black. If my hair is more type 4 or looking more black, I won't hear the anti-black remark. And so I have to be super candid that like it's only when people don't clock me as a black person that I see anti-blackness happening to other people, versus when people do see me as, you know, the other, as the marginalized, as the person that they don't want to be connecting with. And then it's not a moment where they're like, hey, I'm going to dehumanize you. It's just happening. And so, again, it's the way that, like, there are times where I get a moment to witness anti blackness happening to someone else to know for sure I am in danger, versus there's moments where I don't get a warning because I am the person being harmed. And so, again, with that being said, when you're mixed, that is a different experience from black folks. The people aren't waiting to show black folks by harming other people of color that they're coming for them. They're going first for black people. And so, with that being said, like, it's the ways that, you know, when people talk about Meghan Markle and how she suffered by not being able to maintain a certain position within the castle, it's one of those moments where you have to just sit with how us mixed people can really distort conversations. Like, of course, the racist white colonizers who created colonization globally didn't accept you. Of course. Like, again, people will say that, like, it's colorism that's happening to Meghan Markle. And no, colorism is the degradation and erasure of deep, dark skinned people. It is not what's happening to Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle, unfortunately, entered into a toxic family system. I wish we would talk more about that than racializing the moment, but us mixed people don't really waste a lot of time. Like, we kind of go straight for anti-blackness. We don't really allow there to be other narratives. So I want to be super candid that I definitely have done that myself. Like, I definitely thought something was anti-black when it was narcissistic. It was, you know, it was capitalistic. It was, you know, and I'm not saying that there can't be anti-blackness in some of these things. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm trying to offer is that, like, it's rare that like the anti-blackness is showing itself in an abundance towards us. And that's why she was able to get on TV and cry. Deep dark skinned people don't get to get on TV and cry about injustice against them. It's a very mixed light skinned thing, very white passing thing to get the mic to say, hey, I was harmed and this is how. Like, she's being interviewed. She literally has a show on Netflix. If the crown if the crown didn't want this little bitch to say something, she wouldn't be saying nothing. And I'm gonna be real with you. It's frustrating to me to see her utilize the ways that, like, I truly feel the British public didn't like her personally. But I think that's a bigger conversation. Like, I think that the family reacted to her in a way that we won't talk about, because in Britain, It's not like in America where like these people are elected and have to campaign. Like these people it's literally a long ancestry of dogs that have been breeding for so long, and the people are what give it meaning. That is why when I truly believe the British people don't like Meghan, and that's why the British family was like, sweetie, you're not about to have us kicked out of this shit. Like at the end of the day, I hate to say this, but white people in England, they love the crown because they love white supremacy. They love the lore of like, this baby was born and they put a crown of gold on him and that meant something. Like that is what they're into. And so a white passing person from America coming into it, I hate that folks are making it seem like she's black and that's why they hate her. I hate that narrative. I hate that narrative so much because she is not black first, and her black ancestry is not why they did not like her. I fear people don't want to hold this, but white women hate white women. Okay, can we talk about that for a minute? Because when I was doing research for making this video, one thing I noticed is the white women really don't like her, but white women don't like white women. Like if you listen to a white woman talk about a white woman, it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like you were really again like some of the videos, like I'm gonna pull up a video right now that I saw and it was really hard to get through, so I didn't get through the whole thing, which is why we're only gonna watch some of it because I bet y'all not gonna want to get through it either. But it's very frustrating, very annoying based, and it's a lot of white women I'm noticing. um I'm noticing it's a lot of white women I'm noticing. When they talk about Meghan Markle, they talk about her like they're like she's just that goofy bitch in the friend group, and it's so funny to me because in ways, I think that I think unfortunately, Megan has some past beefs. And I think about it like an Amanda Seals. I think Amanda Seals and Meghan Markle actually are like the two people to compare to. The fact that people are comparing Meghan to Beyonce is insane. But you know what though? These people got a lot of money and they could pay for ads. They could pay people to say anything. So I don't believe it's organic at the fuck all. I believe it's purposeful to connect Beyonce and Meghan together and to make it seem as if like white people hate Beyonce and that's what it is. And it's awkward because between me and you, when I think about the Beyonce hate, like, and I feel like, you know what? I feel like Beyonce and Meghan Markle are connected in a way, but I feel like it's not gonna make people feel comfortable. And I feel like I want to put that out there right now. If you really love Beyonce, if you really think Beyonce is amazing, just take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I don't want to fight with y'all. Exactly, exactly. Jordan, thank you. Jordan, thank you for being a co-host. What I'll say about Beyonce and Megan being connected is that there is a prosperity. Like, you know how some people go to those churches where the whole point of the church is like you're going like saying that you're going to be rich, like it's called prosperity gospel, right? It's like everything you do for the church is going to bless you. Like I feel genuinely like Beyonce has tapped into this niche between Christianity and blackness and trauma porn and also black excellence, and I truly believe like that forfecta has made it so she's kind of like, I don't want to say untouchable, but it does feel like when you talk about them, bad things happen to you, terrible things happen to you, and it's awkward because again, it's the way that it's historical. It's the way that people have so many videos of people just disappearing from the charts, people saying something like, I remember like Carrie Hilson. Somebody actually assaulted Carrie Hilson after the Beyonce shit, which was weird because I just did not ever think that their beef was that deep. But I do remember like laughing at Carrie Hilson for some reason, and I don't remember why we were laughing at her. I don't remember why there was a beef with Carrie Hilson. I truly don't. If somebody remembers, feel free to bring it up. But again, I feel like the way that like when I was like loving Beyonce and everything she did, I did not realize that that was the correct answer. And so I feel like now that I'm no longer like glamored by her, I do think that like it is strange how like any conversation about her seems to go really left with like her supporters seemingly being like, no, like people are mad, people are hating. And it's awkward because it's the way that people will say like people are jealous of Beyonce and Meghan Markle. And it's awkward because I really want them to flesh out the jealousy. I want them to flesh out like what we should be jealous of. And here's the thing. I also want them to I want to ask them, is it okay to be jealous ever? Because I think that that will tell me the most information. Because one thing I want to hold is that as a person who is trying to hold that I have a lot of privilege, and so sometimes I be saying stuff and I know people be like, bitch, how? And I know like I recently was talking about being like ugly, and I know in some people's mind, like I could not feel ugly or I shouldn't feel ugly. And that's frustrating because again, I think that ugly is very personal. As much as it is like social, I think we can all personally feel however the fuck we want to feel. Just like you could feel beautiful and people will try to humble you and make you feel like you should not agree with yourself about yourself. You can feel like, damn, I don't look good to me, and it don't matter what other people say. That's how you feel. So again, just trying to offer that I know that some people would maybe not think that I would ever feel ugly or think I was ugly, but as someone who is called ugly and as someone who felt like I was ugly, I think that when we talk about Beyonce and Meghan Markle, we're talking about people we have like all decided are beautiful. And so, with that being said, like I think when we talk about them in a way that makes it hard to see them as just beautiful people we should aspire to be like, I think it makes it more tricky because, again, then people have to confront the colorism of being a fan of theirs, the anti blackness of being a fan of theirs. And again, it's the way I've seen people say, oh, it's the way I've seen people think that Meghan Markle is somebody to be like, and therefore, if you talk about her, you don't want to be like her. Oh, yes. If you talk about her, you don't want to be like her, and so you're kind of like seemingly talking down to people who do. And again, I think that now that she's becoming like an aspirational brand. I think it's easy to see why some people want to be like her. The homemaking aesthetic has been really big. Also, recently, I noticed a bunch of people making fun of her cookware, the cruzettes. I'm gonna be real with you. I know that there are many people out there who have cookware sets that's passed down family to family. That's beautiful. I love to hear that. But I am noticing, what up, Aqua? I'm noticing that people are using the outrage. Like I just noticed like some white people making it seem like Megan cooking in like expensive pots was like stupid. And then there were a bunch of black folks being like, no, it's not. Like, I have these expensive cookwares from my family passed down. And it's awkward to me because, again, it's the way white women are never going to defend Megan. It's the way white women do not see her as someone that they can connect with. And it's so funny to me because I think about how Megan is very clearly, you know, put herself in white spaces. She absolutely is clearly very comfortable around white people and brown people who want to be white. Because I feel like even her connection with Mindy Kaling, does anybody remember Mindy Kaling's brother pretending to be Caucasian? I don't know, baby. I just feel like it's mad layers to this shit. Um Trajectory to deity status for Beyonce. I mean, I feel like Beyonce even calling her a black princess is funny as fuck to me because I feel like if she calling Megan black, I just feel like that tells me a lot about her politic. And again, it's the way that like when I was considering myself black, I was absolutely one drop ruling. I was absolutely thinking like, yeah, like this fraction makes sense. And again, it's the way that now I'm divested from thinking that we're all black. I'm like, ooh, oh, okay. And again, it's the way that I recently was called dark skinned by several people. It's the way someone told me that I was pretending to be light skinned, and I had my light skin ass picture up, and folks were telling me that I'm pretending to be light skinned, and it was honestly like disturbing me on multiple levels because it was like, wait a second, if I'm brown skin, and again, it's the way that I can tell who's mixed by how people speak about like tones of people. Like people like again, I've heard some white passing people say they get dark in the summer, and I'd be like, I wouldn't even say that about my damn self, sweetie. I'd say I get warm in the way. I get a warmer shade. A warmer shade. You know what I mean? A richer shade. I would say rich. I would say warm. I would not say dark. I would not say that. That does not sound accurate. And again, it's the way that people will see light skinned people and be like, they're chestnut. All these new fucking words to not call people yellow. It's crazy. Like people can look like Simpsons characters. You could say yellow like a Simpson. Like I feel like that's acceptable at this point. Everybody not brown, bitch. Like I just feel like people gotta hold that. We gotta hold that. Everybody is not brown. Everybody is not black. Some people is yellow. Because Bay isn't even black. So exactly, that's what I'm saying. But that's a but then you say Beyonce not black. Now everybody wanna fight you. You say Miss Tina not black, everybody wanna fight you. And it's awkward because it's like if Beyonce's not black, what does that mean to you? Like that's what I wonder. The people that like fight so hard and say, no, Beyonce gotta be black. I really genuinely wonder like what it means for them because I think for me, a lot of times I think it's fellow mixed people who are like using Beyonce like I did to include myself in blackness. And I feel like that's why she is talking to Megan. I truly feel like I'm not even trying to play with y'all. I do think that there's like something bigger happening here where like Beyonce validating Megan as a black princess, Megan like getting away from her father and getting really close to her mother and showing her mother off all the time. Like there's just a part of me that feels like it's a rebrand, and I think I hate to say this, she's coming for that Beyonce coin. And when I say Beyonce coin, Aqua, Aqua, I have a question for you. I genuinely have a question for you. Why are you in these lives if you are disturbed by this content? Genuinely, what makes you come to hear this if you don't want to hear this? Because if you don't want to hear this, you could take a break off me for a little bit and come back. I feel like I don't even talk about Megan that much. I feel like this week I've definitely been talking about her a lot, but I feel like I leave her be. But at this point, she's selling $35 honey, $35 pancake mix, and I just feel like I can't. I feel like it's really distressing me. Also, I feel like, is it a hill to die on to acknowledge mixed people? Like, I feel like, again, I feel like in this moment, I want to be candid that I'm never trying to antagonize anybody black for like why they want to hold a mixed person closer. But when a mixed person is doing something dirty or shady or weird, I really wonder like why we can't speak on it because again, I'm noticing nobody speaking about how Megan is really trying to make people pay these high ass prices for food like fucking pancake mix. Again, I just feel like she's really tapping into like the black wealth, black luxury space. And I feel like that's what bothers me about her is that like she's not pandering to the white people. She's not. She's going out of her way to pander to black women who are trying to brunch, black women who are trying to, do any kind of events. Word. And here's the thing, we are in one of the most loudest in my time of being alive, one of the most loudest anti-black times to be alive personally. I remember being radicalized by George Bush in some ways like that. Like the Iraq War, 9/11 definitely had me like looking around like what's going on, but I didn't know what to do. So I want to be super candid that like I feel like I've always been trying to understand the world. I'm trying to understand how America fits into this shit, how we all fit into all of this, but I didn't have the language. And again, when I started to think of myself as a black person, like in terms of like what that meant politically, I started to get extremely, extremely engaged around black politico. And I want to be super candid that I did not have the range and I had no idea. I didn't have any elders. I didn't seek out any. Also, like, I want to be super candid that as much as I didn't have any guidance, I didn't look for any. And so I want to be super candid. Um, here's my thing, Aqua. I don't feel like we're talking about zeroing in on her identity. I feel like that's the thing. The spirit of the conversation is that Megan is tapping into something that I only recently myself started to, I don't want to say understand, but started to hold. And I feel like I'm trying to say this as gently as possible, but there are a lot of black folks who feel like anyone who is willing to claim blackness despite not being black is someone to be connecting with. It is a spell. It is a spell. And so with that being said, I want to be candid that like I don't see Kamala or Megan or Obama as good people or as people that anybody should have fucked with. But again, who could have known that? So I want to just say that my spirit isn't like you should know that Megan's a bad person. Like I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Megan is just really revealing a lot of times that she's only willing to cry about white supremacy when it affects her, when it pushes her out of the palace. I don't see her crying anymore, do you? I see her very happy in a garden selling you $35 pancake mix. That's what I'm saying. I feel like I don't even have to say anymore. I feel like that puts it all in perspective, don't it? She only crying about anti-blackness when it puts her out of the castle. I don't see her today. Do you see her make a post, about being supportive in any way to anybody here right now? No, baby, she's making brunch. She's making brunch. She does not give one fuck. And so I'm gonna go get some water. But yeah, no, white people don't support her. And Hale, yes, Hale, honestly, Hale really inspired the next part of this. So I'm glad Hale tapped in. Because there's so much that me and Hale talked about, and I'm so glad that they're talking. I'm glad to see you, Bill. BRB, I'm going to pee. I'm not going to be in the trash. Come on, ice. Ooh. 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 Ooh, y'all wrote a lot of stuff. I'm so excited. Ooh, hold up. I'm gonna go get a snack. Hold up. Okay. You said identity has been used to brainwash society and erase black people. Absolutely. Like I said the other day on the phone, I think people tie value into certain people with certain platforms and align themselves to them tribally. Like if she's not black, then the people no longer have a princess. But is that true? Like that's the thing that's so fucking sick. It's like there's so many and I feel like that's the thing about mainstream, right? If Beyonce is not black, then the people no longer have Queen Bee. They no longer have a black president, a black VP. No, and that's the thing too. It's like when I started looking at like the first black inventor of X, Y, or Z and noticing all the mixed people. And again, it's the way that mixed was seen as black in ways, but again, if it really was, then those people wouldn't have been there. It's like it's the way that mixed was never seen as black. Like we know this. Hmm. Hmm. Mixed Mormon vampire. Tell me more. Hmm. Hmm. Nini. And see, even that question is fucked up. Cause like again, it's the way that like if we're aware that there's mixed erasure unfolding, then I feel like we have to look at them to be like babes, like and I feel like that's the thing that's frustrating because it's like again, it's like I feel like again this conversation is very personal. So I'm trying like my best to like be candid but also like not be delusional. Cause it's like on one hand it's like it's on us mixed people. I'm sorry, these pants ride up so far up my ass, it's so crazy. Um but it's on us mixed people to be doing more. It's not on black folks to be like confronting us or to be doing this. And again, it's the ways that like I've had people tell me I was mentally unwell for saying that I'm mixed and naming that Meghan Markle was mixed, naming that Beyonce has admixture. Like it's the way people have told me that I've been hurt. People have hurt me, and it's the way again. It's the way that I am sure there are worse things said to deep dark skinned people when they bring up this conversation, but it's the way that people have tried to shame me, humble me, talk about my skin tone as it being darker. Again, it's the way that people told me I was not light skinned for my take on us light skinned people. That really had me like, whoa, like rhetoric can change how you're perceived? Whoa, whoa. Megan ain't featuring black people. I mean, if Megan is featuring black people, let me know. But see, here's my thing. Saying that you saw and heard anti-blackness against your mother and that's not part of your brand, that's weird to me. Like and again, I know some people may not want to feel me, but I feel like as someone with a white passing partner, a white passing mama, a white passing brother. Those three people, out of those three people, only one of them actually like sits with their privilege and talks about it candidly. The other two are just like constantly operating as if you caught them off guard with their privilege. And so it's the way that white passing people get the privilege to act so oblivious, despite the fact that they oftentimes have proximity to people being harmed. They can see and hear all fucking day. They know what they're seeing and hearing. And yet they're not uplifting. Why? Because, as I just said, saying something makes you darker, Question mark? Again, people have told me I am no longer light skinned for talking about how us light skinned people, how us mixed people be operating. So if you're white passing and you start having this politic, what happens next? Listen, it's the way somebody asked me to see a picture of my family to make sure that I wasn't black. And it's awkward because I feel like if y'all saw my mom, I feel like there are people that would say she's black. It's awkward to say that. But there are people that will say Tammy with no top lip is black. They'll say it. Just the same that's the same people that say they see blackness in Mariah Carey. Even though Mariah Carey don't have a black father or a black mother. They have a mixed parent and a white parent, but that's the thing though. But call it, and that is hell. Thank you for uplifting that. It's the way that like having a politic, fuck politic, listening to deep dark skinned people and uplifting what they're sharing makes you quote unquote darker. Again, I am hoping I'm not giving like disrespectful or being a weirdo. I'm trying to share like an actual experience that's happened. And it's the way so many people after the exchange on threads literally deleted their messages because it's the way that I'm sure somebody said to them, hey, you're over here saying like things such as if you're mixed with black, you're black. It's the way people were invoking the one drop rule. It's the way one man said to me, it's like you saying that because I have a white grandfather, which I do, I'm not black. And I'm sitting here like, well, I have a white grandmother. We're both mixed. I was like, we're just at different stages of unlearning erasure. I'm like, I'm going to send you some more information. And he got so angry with me. He was cussing me out so bad. And again, I have to hold that like these people aren't cussing me out because like I'm lying. They're mad because of what I know. What I'm mad about at this point is that like there is a tribalism in blackness that once you acknowledge like you are not a black person, you don't necessarily have the community you once may have thought you did simply because people were holding you because you were gaslighting, manipulating, perpetuating the one drop rule. Like again, I am sad about like the community that I don't have anymore because I never had that community. I never was a black person, and so being in black spaces was something that was not really offered to me. But I don't want to split hairs here. I'll say this. I'll say that the idea that I could just show up to a black event because I have a black father or because I have a father who's deep dark skin, like that's wild. Like again, it's the same way that white passings count up people in their family and say, "Oh, I can say I'm black. I have enough black people behind me." And it's awkward because a lot of people that they're counting are mixed. Exactly, and that's the thing too. Like my energy is like I'm not about to sit here and constantly tell people like I'm mixed, so I know this stuff. If it makes sense to share my story, I will, but it mostly makes sense to share content. The next video I want to share, I'm gonna be so fucking for real. I do not want to hold the fucking phone, so I'm gonna find a way to prop this shit up for y'all because I really wanted to watch this video with you. And Loki, bitch, honestly, not to be crazy, I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna try to get my shit together because I wonder how long this video is. 12 minutes. You know what? I was able to hang for 6. I'm gonna see how long I last. I'm gonna start this video where the content starts because Maiwa is beautiful, lovely. I'm obsessed with her, but she does do a little bit of like an intimate intro, which I appreciate. But for this video, I'm trying to just get into the ham and the turkey. Okay, so just appreciate that. And I'm not saying it's a long one. I'm just saying like I'm not starting from one. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna start from like. Actually, let me just start from the fucking beginning because honestly, I'm probably full of shit. I'm probably just being lazy, baby. Holding a camera is hard for me, babe. I'm lazy. I'm that lazy. All right, here we go.
Hi, y'all. Okay, so update, very quick update. I have moved to Nigeria. I'm currently in Nigeria. I made a content about this, but my SD card, I forgot the reader. So I've been trying to find places in Lagos that have an SD card reader, but it is like very difficult. So I really wanted to make this video very quickly with very like few edits so I can upload it and then I'll do like a whole like I moved to Nigeria video because like that's something that I am really passionate to talk about. I just want to also thank the new subscribers that have come to my channel because before this one video I had on YouTube that blew up, I had like 8,000 subscribers and I had steady 8,000 subscribers, and the video before this video that blew up had, I think, I talked about how I wanted to stop making YouTube videos, and so you guys have definitely revitalized my desire to keep making content. So I just want to thank all the new subscribers. Say hello, my name is Mario.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying my best, you guys.
Today's video, I wanted to talk about something that's really, really on my mind. And I hope I can upload it today because I'm currently in Nigeria and I have been locked out of my YouTube account because they're saying that it's like suspicious location. So I hope today I can get through and upload this video because it's kind of related to things that people are talking about, which is around Meghan Markle, whatever, like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And I have like a lot of thoughts about this, and I've been really ranting to my friends, and I feel like they're a bit tired of hearing me say the same thing. So I'm like, let me just make a YouTube video, let me just talk about it because it makes me very angry.
I'm sorry, bitch. Don't
judge
me.
Me, like,
I'm trying to get it.
About Meghan Markle, and that white man that she's with, and my answer is absolutely fucking not. Okay. I just want to like reiterate on my channel. I talk a lot about colonialism, anti-blackness, colorism, hair texturism, all these things. Yeah. So like, if I had to pick one family that like probably has put all these things, like if I had to point to one direction that's like living right now, it would definitely be the royal family. Like the royal family are colonizers, like using the word prince and king and queen. That's just all fancy words for fucking colonizers. Yeah, like the royal family has done atrocities and I'm currently in Nigeria, so like a lot of the problems that I'm having here in Nigeria, like the electricity coming in and out, fear of SARS and the police. Who trained SARS? It's the British military, right? So like Nigeria was colonized by Britain, right? So like that royal family are fucking evil, okay? Like I have not 1 ounce of sympathy. Like, what do I look like feeling sad for someone who would marry into a family that would have this, or marry into a family that would do this? Why would you marry into this family knowing that they've created atrocities? Like, I don't really like the victimhood that we do sometimes for people who are like married into really horrible dynamics with incredible wealth that's on stolen land. Like, how do you think they got their money? Like, Nigeria still pays, like, we still pay money to the queen. Like, the queen, like, English people pay for them to exist. Like, they have to pay taxes. Like, they're actually just fucking atrocious. And even like, I'm talking about like just specifically in Nigeria. They've also colonized Ghana, yeah? Like they enslaved people in America, people who were brought to America and enslaved. That was through Britain. That family that is still existing to this day can be looked at as like the sole people that were behind and watched all of these things happen. And there's something really weird that happens with Nigerians where like, especially like the older generation, where they fucking love the king and the queen or whatever, and like, oh, Princess Diana. Babe, that's just colonialism. It's a colonial mentality. Like, I give no fucks for her. Like, here we are grasping to understand what existed prior to colonialism because our histories have been destroyed by this family. So, in this whole conversation of saying that Meghan Markle, like, we need to care about her because she has, like, bad mental health. What about our mental health? Like, we talk about, like, content warning just mentioning of suicide when she said that she was feeling suicidal. Our people were literally jumping off of boats as they were being taken away. Like, there's not a history that we talk about of like the mental health. Like, there's not even enough medical practitioners who are Black in America to even take care of the Black descendants of enslaved people in America. Okay, so like, I'm not gonna feel sorry for someone who has an abundance of wealth, an abundance of privilege, like Meghan Markle. And when I hear these discourses of people saying like, protect Black women, she doesn't even want to be called Black. And like, y'all keep saying like, oh, Meghan Markle's in her position because of colorism allowed her to get there. No, colorism is the discrimination of dark-skinned people. So what we're not going to do is center light-skinned people on the discourse of colorism. Her light-skinned privilege, her white passing privilege, allowed her to get into there. But then y'all consistently defending her, y'all seeing her as black, y'all having discourse around her, that's on colorism, because you would still rather put your energy and support towards someone who has access and proximity to whiteness than you would to a dark-skinned person. Also, I just wanted to quickly add, I know some of you are saying, oh, but Meghan Markle, they're attacking her family, attacking her mother a dark-skinned woman. Dark-skinned where? Dark-skinned where? Isn't she biracial? She just has locks. Her mom is a light-skinned woman. Okay? And also, doesn't she own some business? I'm going to put up what she owns. If my daughter told me she was going to marry a colonizer, it's not my daughter. It's not my daughter, okay? I know it's harsh, but no. So I don't feel, no. Like, stop saying people are dark-skinned to prove a point. Like, her mom is still not facing the brunt of colorism. She is not a dark-skinned woman. Her mom is okay. Her daughter is married to a billionaire. She'll be fine. It just happened like a couple weeks ago that there was this girl called Candace, and she was supposed to be doing a film about, I think, black women's childbirth, or content warning again, like miscarriaging. But then she got replaced by a light-skinned girl. I'm gonna show the receipts. So why was that not the discourse? Why was that not the global discourse, right? So people being like, oh no, it's good that Meghan Markle had the situation because now we can have conversations. If your conversations are consistently centered around whiteness, it's not a good conversation. I'm just going to say that right now, okay? Because dark-skinned people are systematically oppressed. Dark-skinned people are going through terrible things. Dark-skinned people are not only on like a systematic way, but on an interpersonal way. We're struggling, right? So you're consistently caring for Meghan Markle. I don't give a fuck. It's weird. It's giving colonized.
For real.
And I know all of us are colonized, and all of us have to do a lot of work to unlearn anti-blackness, and it takes a lifetime of work. I will probably not even get through all the things I have to do, but one thing I am going to do is I'm definitely not going to have any fucking sympathy for anyone who marries colonizers, okay? I saw a tweet that was like, if someone married into the KKK, and then they were talking about like racism that happened, like would we have sympathy for them? No. Also, when Capitol Hill happened, my mic came out. When people had rushed Capitol Hill, I think it had come out that like 3 of the guys who were arrested, they were all married to black women, right? And I think one of them was a dark-skinned woman. And when I see the things that he said and the things that she said, I'm like, she is not well. Are we going to go and help her? Are we going to defend, to rush, to say, hey, I know you're married to a white supremacist, but come into my hands? No, we're not, right? Like, we don't have any sympathy for that. But somehow, because of the marketing that the royal family has done, we have like all this like softness and like, oh my God, and like also pretty privilege, like the fact that we as a society find this little colonized married woman to be attractive, like we have such like a sympathy, like really analyze that. Like everybody wants to keep saying, oh, we're all human, like if humans go through things. My people here are suffering. In 5 minutes, my lights will turn off, okay? Like my electricity is NetBack cuts my shit, right? We're all suffering, okay? Dark-skinned people are suffering. I have to say, when as a person of color, people can look at me and see themselves in me. You see me, and you see you, and you think I'm going to see one. And also, why would I, you want me to, oh, wow, Megan, thank you so much. Hopefully, maybe I can colonize and oppress black people like you will do in the future. Even her dancing with these people, like, all of this is on colorism. Like, you don't look like them. They don't look like you. And for you guys who are wanting to continuously have discourse on saying she's black, she's not black, it's only because of colorism and pretty privilege that you're so interested in having her be black. Because I don't see people rallying behind men who are that color, that complexion, to prove they're black. What's that boy's name? Logic, the rapper? Are you guys going to help him? No, you're not. Okay, so I don't know how to tell you, and I mean this with a lot of compassion, but if you care for her, and if you're concerned for her, and you like want the best for her, meanwhile people are actually suffering from this family, from this colonized, white supremacist, Britain colonized black people, yeah? With no reparation, with no money given back, we're still paying money to them. If you're caring for her, and you look like me, I don't know what to tell you, babes. I don't know what to tell you. It's not good. It's not good. And I just really question, I push us to ask, what does decolonizing our minds look like? What does unlearning these ways that we have been forced to like the queen? You think
Hold
that
on.
we just met?
Hold on. I'm glad that I didn't watch the whole thing, so y'all can go and watch her channel. I'm gonna leave it in the comment section so people can go directly and get it. Her name is Myowa. And I believe she's Myowa's World on all platforms. I'm following her here and on Instagram and on Threads. Yikes. Shit. Ah. Y'all almost left. We was almost shut down. But yeah, no, there's still more time in the video to watch. But that video is called "I Have No Sympathy for Meghan Markle." So if you type in "I have no sympathy for Meghan Markle," you will find Maya's World, and she has a lot of great content around erasure, colorism, anti-blackness. What up, FNA? Yeah, no, Maya is amazing. I hope folks are watching her content. She actually really helped me further radicalize, and I will always stand her. Like, I literally am so excited whenever I see her drop. Missy voice, new Maya. Like, honestly, I'm just so grateful. But yeah, again, I think that this video is again another video to just help my point. I'm also cold, bitch. Leave me alone. But yeah, just to get back to the point of Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle is someone that is using her proximity to whiteness to capitalize, and I truly believe that when white women engage with her, and I feel like the white women, like, oh my god, I literally don't. I'm definitely not holding my phone for this because like these white women, when they talk about her. They're just eating her up, and it's like y'all really are so invested. Man, y'all really don't like her. It's funny. I don't care. It makes me laugh. All right, let me play this shit because again, it's white people just hating on her. Again, I also feel like this plays into why some people may like her is because she makes white people like get out of pocket. But I personally feel like the anger white people feel about her is because she is so mediocre. She is so boring. But, and I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna say this again. Just like when I showed that clip of Imitation of Life, just like Sarah Jane Mom was a black woman who really badly wanted her daughter to, acknowledge her, be close with her, love her, and it wasn't possible. There's a part of me that feels like there are some people in the black community who may feel that way about some white passing people and some mixed people in general, that like as long as like they are loving black people, liking black people, like something good is happening. And so again, I do think that there's layers to this conversation. And so I do think that like white people not liking her, white people pushing her away, I do think that can signal to some people to hold her closer. And again, at some point when I was more invested in like the one drop rule and I was more invested in, taking up a lot of space in blackness, I definitely see ways that I was like getting into shit or getting caught up in things. And I really didn't need any help. I really probably needed to go talk to a fucking therapist, probably needed to go do something else. And I'm over here like invoking blackness in certain things. And again, I'm not trying to make it seem like that's okay. It was never okay. But I see now how other mixed people are operating in that way only because it's been uplifted. And I want to be super clear that, like, when you have discourse like, oh, mixed people with black moms are different, you kind of open up the discourse to kind of invalidate the fact that all mixed people are non black, and therefore like the ways we're going to show up in the world is going to be different. But invoking that black women have a different type of uh parenting experience with their mixed children, therefore those children are going to be more safe to be around. I feel like that does open up the conversation because, again, it's the way that Meghan Markle's mother is admixed, and yet people are holding her as a black woman just like her mother. And it's the way that blackness is seemingly grandfathered in to mixed people who have any crumb of black ancestry. And again, I know when Aqua popped up and was like, oh, you're talking about this a lot. I know it may seem to people that really don't have to think about anti blackness, because I feel like that's another layer to this. Some people do not have to deal with anti blackness that often. Some people really don't have to deal with anti blackness as a conversation, as a education. Hey, Cool Beans Beauty, I hope you're doing well. I literally just watched the video of me being in the shroom room, and I was just giving you so much praise, and I'm just so happy to see you again. um what do we do about those people, the stands of white supremacy? I feel like that's the thing about it. I feel like it's case by case. I feel like there's some people that you could tell, they might be open to talking and shifting perhaps, but I think unfortunately, like, unlearning and decolonizing, it does take community, it does take help, but at the same time, people have to do a certain amount of work to come to community. I think in the beginning of like me unlearning the ways I had been colorist, or unlearning the ways I had been like really seeking out black spaces and perhaps derailing them, colonizing them, all the ways I started to come into new words for my behavior, and trying to analyze like what I could be doing, how I could have been wrong in a situation in a way that I never thought of before. And just like all the ways that I was sitting with, oh wow, like this is something that I did that now I see it could be harmful. Oh wow, this could be. And again, it's the way that even in moments where I'm talking to someone who may not have the language I have, I've noticed, that moment could be a moment of harm. Even if I was trying to just talk to that person hearing me acknowledge that I am not a black person, and they were thinking I was. Them sitting with that reality that I am not, their sibling or their cousin or the person that they thought I was. I feel like those are things that I'm sitting with at this point. But at first, I was just really excited to share. Like, I just remember being excited to share ugh, with black folks, like what I had been hearing, and then realizing this is not good news for all of them. Like, and that was an awkward moment to realize, like, this information does not make all black people happy. And I thought it would. And again, even me thinking that black folks would be happy, that it would be good news for them, is some mixed people shit. But again, it's the ways that I was hoping that hearing this information would make me, safer to be around. And then it's almost like I found out immediately that like this information actually made me extremely uh undesirable, because again, like once you as a mixed person hear this, you can fight it all day, but it's not going to leave you. Like, that's just my experience. Like, I remember hearing people talk about, blood quantum and who is black and who is not black. And I used to think, like, they're not talking about me, like, even though I'm mixed, I have black people on both sides. Like, they're definitely not talking about me. Again, it's the ways that, like, we will think about other people when we think about our blackness as mixed people. And it's the ways that will count other people. And again, I know that people will say like monoracial black is 8 black grandparents, excuse me, uh 2 black parents, 4 black grandparents, 8 black great grandparents. Like, it's the way that, like, when I heard that, I was like, oh, I'm definitely not black. But again, even the fact that anybody black would have to come up with like a gatekeep around like 3 fucking generations of blackness, and like needing people to hold that, like, that's who we're talking about when we say black. Again, it was a moment for me to sit with and say, wow, like, us mixed people have really derailed the conversation. We really, lost the plot. And the way that some people will think, that we're being racist. Like, the way that, like, this conversation, some people will say this is a racist conversation. Some people will say that this conversation is one that is not worthy of talking about. And some people will say that I'm being anti-black towards black people when really I'm talking about mixed people. Again, there's been a lot of things unfolding the last few fucking weeks, and I don't expect anybody to understand why I think it's important to talk about race, the construct, race, the project, but also the anti-blackness. Because again, I've recently talked to some white people who have like tried to make me feel like a dumb bitch because I don't understand that like race is fake and that we're all one species. And it's like, bitch, if that was the case, your people wouldn't have moved like that. Like, I need y'all to atone for the reality while knowing the truth. Like, you still have to atone for the reality. And so I'm never trying to say that I don't understand that we're all one, babes. I get it, we're all one. But we still have to live in the world that knows that people weren't always being treated like we're all one. Like we have to hold that as well. That like that there are so many people who know we're not all one. And is that a bad thing? You know what I mean? To hold that there are some of us who have a different experience, especially when it comes to the degradation and the lack of humanity that was offered. I don't think so. I think that that's actually going to help us be able to like move forward with integrity if we actually atone for the harms that have been done. But people really want to just move on, and it's very awkward to me. Like people really tell me all the time to move on and shut the fuck up. And again, my desire is that when we are talking together, we can acknowledge that we all have something to add. I don't think for 1 minute that nobody white has anything to add. I think that somebody white has something to share with me, and I've shared some of the things white people have shared that I value a lot. I would never purport to say that I have nothing to learn from anybody white. I don't think that. I think that unfortunately there are many white people who don't think they have anything to learn from people of color, and that is where they're very mistaken. And so again, it's the ways that like we're reacting to what's been happening. We're not necessarily all of a sudden anything, but white people will really think that like they've just been hated and it's just been so bad for them and it's so awkward. I had a white person just tell me that they have a good heart and that I'm turning them off talking about skin color. Sweetie, all I did was send them a YouTube video and ask them how it made them feel. And they had the nerve to tell me that like I'm racist. And it's like, how am I racist? I'm sharing a video from a white person saying how they feel about white supremacy. I personally feel like that is helpful. Like if somebody sent me some content about like mixed people sharing how we're being anti-black, I'd say thank you. Think about it. Some people, like when you meet them, they literally come into your life and you just get like a stinky smell like in your house. Like some people, you literally connect with them and in the end like you have chlamydia. Like sometimes like when you meet people, you don't get a lot. And I just feel like the least anybody can do is just give me a little bit more fucking information. Like don't leave me out here looking ashy and dusty. And that's just my energy. Like just help me, ho. I don't want to be out here looking crazy. And I just feel like white people just don't appreciate, like they're so unappreciative. It makes me fucking sick. Truly. Now I'm gonna play the little clip from the white people, and like again, these white people were talking so much. Ooh, it's so boring. I'm gonna be real with you. It was so boring, bitch. But I'm gonna play it just because it was funny to me. Hell, that part. That part. They want to fight. They be wanting to fight, hearing new things. So the video is called Meghan Markle's Rocky Start to Product Business as Ever Analyzed. Again, I do not care about Meghan Markle, the businesswoman. I don't give a shit about none of this. I do think selling pancake mix in a recession for $35 is insane, but you know what? People gonna do what they're gonna do. And you know what though? I feel like that's the thing about white supremacy. Like the people that want to try to keep up, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? The people that's gonna try to keep on making you think that they got money, they're gonna get robbed. You know what I mean? Like that's all I got. That's all I got. Like the people that still want to act like I got it, like they're just going to get robbed. I guess. You feel me? Like that's just that on that. Anyways, so Meghan Markle's rocky start to product business as ever analyzed, and it's Sky News Australia. So it's some Australian white people, and honestly, baby, the Australians are very nasty. Anyways,
joining me now is Sky News contributor Louise Roberts and news.com.au entertainment reporter Bronte Coy. Louise, what were the most notable parts of the show for you?
I think with Love Megan is less about lifestyle tips and things you can actually use in your own home, and more about a rebranding exercise for Megan, because she really wants to portray herself as this sort of very caring, loving, significant person who has this love language of feeding her friends, which is, of course, is a million miles away from the reputation she has and how she's treated her own family and indeed Harry's family as well. But I think she's trying to move away from the royal victim narrative to I am now a domestic goddess. But wow, I mean, some of the kitschy and cringe moments, I mean, there are so many to focus on. I'll try and focus on a few here now. There's the pretzel moment where, of course, she decants some store-bought pretzels into a plastic bag for her makeup artist, Daniel, to make his room look pretty. And, of course, that's what we all do with our chips and dips and stuff at home, isn't it? And also, she seems to be blissfully unaware that he's left-handed. He has to tell her this as part of the narrative as well. So I sort of question how well she actually knows him. There's the bacon narrative, where when she says that apparently when she cooks bacon in the kitchen, her husband, aka Harry, she doesn't actually name him personally, comes racing into the kitchen along with their dogs, and she makes this comment, "My bacon brings all the boys to the yard," which is just so wrong and just awful, really. I mean, on top of that, of course, she's not actually in her own home. She's in a rented cottage up the road from their $25 million Montecito mansion. So the authenticity is, or the lack of authenticity is really staring you in the face every single episode. So, I mean, is it a hate watch? Possibly, but it's gripping for probably all the wrong reasons.
Bronte, what are your thoughts? I think something that kind of grabbed me was the fact that Megan kind of watches or waits and watches for what people say. And if they don't, it seems like if they don't say exactly what she wants them to say, her face almost falls.
Look, it was such an interesting watch. We waited a very long time for this show, and I've said so many times in the past on this program as well, I really wanted to like it. I've always said I think that she needs to move into this area to really draw the line in the sand on the bottom of all the narrative about the victimhood after the royal family clashes she'd had. And so I thought this could be it. This could really be her leaning into her passion area. It's something she has been very passionate about in the past, even before Harry. Unfortunately, it truly was so boring. I watched it from the first episode all the way through, and I kept waiting for it to get more interesting. And I was reviewing it later thinking, why has this come across as so beige? Because it is actually a compliment to her that I simply refuse to believe that she is that boring. But when I was watching it, I realised it's because she pulls out of ever saying anything that's overly personal. It's, you're listening to her gift wrap and talk about gift wrapping, and she says, oh, well, when I was an auditioning actor, I taught gift wrapping classes, but then says nothing else about it. And that in itself is not a huge fact that's going to change the world. But at the same time, it's something about her that we could have learned. And I think that she's having, still ongoing, a little bit of an identity crisis after her royal years about...
Girl. Again, I just feel like the way that the white bitches are like, we wanted more from her. We were so bored watching her. Blah, blah. It's like, okay, but like even them doing all of this gives her money. Like, again, it's just the way that, like, when white people hate something, some folks will love it. And it's so awkward to me because it seems like people are just thinking that, like, I don't know, like, rage bait really does pay in dividends. And people don't want to see it that way, but, look, I feel like right before the election, a lot of people were buying fucking Teslas as like a solidarity move for like Trump and Elon. Like, I remember seeing that. And again, it's the way that like making people angry, making people feel a way, like people will want to support that. It's awkward. But again, it's the way that like I've seen many women of color posting on behalf of Megan and feeling like they must defend her. And I find that shit so fascinating. Like, in a time where our fucking rights are being rolled back, people are really going back and forth over Megan and Beyonce. Woo! And the worst part I think about all of this is these are two women that are very much brand friendly. Like, they're very much like, Beyonce just did a Levi commercial. Like, they're very much women that never say anything that shakes the fucking table. And yet, like, they are the ones to watch, which distresses me because, again, any little thing that they do, people will see it as revolutionary. Like, people really think that folks are picking on them if they talk about them. I'm crying. And see, that's the thing. Like, I feel like here's the thing. I'm not hating on anyone buying a Tesla. I personally think they're ugly as fuck. But I think that, like, when people buy Teslas at this point, it is very much like, yikes. Just because of all the bad press I've seen. Like, I've not seen any good things happening from Tesla. Like, I've heard about them blowing up. I've heard about trauma. I've heard a lot of terrible things. I'm crying. See, that's a thing. Like, people really think that, like, there's a hatred of um Megan and Beyonce in this, like, really significant way. And it's awkward because I think, like, if we talk about, like, the hatred against these women, we actually don't have much to say. Like, I feel like that's the thing that's awkward, is like, if you really want to talk about the hatred against Beyonce, you really don't have much to say. You have so much more to say about how much she's broken all these records, how many awards. It's just frustrating when people try to use, like, people talking shit as, like, the reason why they should be the one winning, because it really feels like the last couple of award seasons, that's what it's felt like. It's felt like, well, Beyonce didn't get it then, she better get it now. And it's awkward because between me and you, I feel like this tour, like, and again, I'm trying not to talk about Beyonce too much because I feel like I have really not poured in at all, but it's the way Renaissance it's the way Renaissance made noise in a way that this cowboy one did not. And I fear that, like, the main convo about this whole, what up, Trilly? Yeah, bitch, right. Right, finally. But I fear it's the way that, like, I don't know. It's just the way that people were focused more on Beyonce looking Caucasian versus the music. Like, again, I'm not saying people don't ever focus on the aesthetics, but I've never had anyone say that Beyonce looks Caucasian, like, over the years, and I've been following her career for a while. But I feel like this last year was the first year that I saw people pulling out, like, photos of her to, like, track the lightning. And this is also the first time I've ever heard of glutathione. I'm not sure if people are aware of this, but they're pills you can take that lighten your skin. And so I want to be candid that I unfortunately learned that skin bleaching is something that poor people do. People who have money take pills now. And that was really disheartening to hear. Again, as a lighter skinned person, I do not feel no type of way about people bleaching because I feel like at the end of the day, that's not my fucking business. I feel like when you have a certain, you have privilege in terms of our colorist society, it's really not on you to be talking about whether or not people should or should not be bleaching. It really is just for me to hold space for the fact that we live in a colorist world, and it's unfortunate that that's happening at this point. Yes, there's pills. Again, this is something I learned just recently as well, as being kept quiet because people who are bleaching are supposed to be the ones that feel stupid and feel ugly and get again, it's this, the world is really set up to kill and harm a lot of people, but mostly black people. And it's very clear with the way that these skin bleaching options are available at very low price points and are much more deadly. The cheaper you go, like, the less money you have, the more you could die off trying to bleach your skin. Whereas the more money you have, and people have, again, you can notice with Nicki Minaj, she's absolutely been taking the skin lightening pills, and people can tell, and people think it's just, bleach. No, there's many ways to lighten skin at this point, which is, again, unfortunate because it means that, like, it's become something more insidious, it's become something more covert. And again, this is not me trying to judge anyone who does this. This is only me trying to judge the companies that have found a way to make it more covert, because I do not believe for 1 minute that those pills are healthier than bleach. I believe that it seems healthier than putting it on your skin because you're not burning and you're not experiencing these side effects that the pills may keep from you or may do in a different way. That is my big you know, that's my big point here, is that like now people don't know what they're taking. All they know is it works. All they know is it's a quiet way to bleach. All they know is it's an overall bleach. It's not a way, there's no way to be patchy. There's no way to mess up. It's internal. And so again, the covertness can make it more dangerous and make it more easy for people to get. Cream is bigger than some pills, you know? Again, we live in a world where you can get a shot to lose weight. You can take pills to lighten your skin. There's still no cure for cancer. Bunch of shit to make cancer. Bunch of shit to cause cancer. Still no cure. But let's be real, bitch. The way cancer making money, it's one of those things. Just makes you think. Like when shit be billion, $1 trillion industry. Very sick. Again, I know we're talking about Meghan Markle. I feel like I'm cool to move on from her. I feel like my main point though was that I really want see, and you know what's really fucked up? I feel like I don't know a cure for cancer per se, but I feel like I have absolutely been looking into it. And two things, RSO oil, which you can make at home if you have your own weed. All you need is a crock pot and some olive oil and some weed, baby. And you can make some anti-cancer medicine. But also rose petals. For people that drink rose petal tea, that's a good way to ingest it. You can smoke rose petals. I wouldn't suggest it unless you want to. But again, I feel like as someone who smokes a lot, I feel like I try to like give other ways for people to get medicine, just because I feel like some people can get really addicted to smoking. I know I am. And so I feel like it can be hard for people to break that, and some people really are struggling. So if you can take something a different way, I will suggest that to you. They're never going to tell us the cure for cancer. That's true. I also think that's why weed is decriminalized, or weed is criminalized though, because like weed is actually like healing, like it has healing property, and indigenous people knew that. Like it's the way that a white man says that he discovered cooking weed down in oil and like eating it, and it's just like, bitch, no, you didn't. Like it's the way I know my ancestors was doing that shit before you, but they didn't have no motherfucking money to make no patent, bitch. Like it's the way white people get to say that they invented stuff because they just had the money. I got another video to show you, and I'm going to share my screen. Am I? Yeah, because I feel like this shit isn't copyrighted. I feel like that's why I'm going to share this one, because it's not copyrighted. I feel like I'm going to be okay. Now, this is a video I found on Instagram. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to fucking hold up my phone because I just feel like it's just too many errors. And actually, I don't even, it's a listen one. You don't even need to watch the person. And honestly, I'm going to share their Instagram account in the comments so people can go to their account and watch the video if you'd like. But this video really, this video really punched me in the pussy. It's a video that I've been sharing with so many white people because I'm so excited to share this with you. I get so hyped to share it with y'all, some like good ass content, cause ooh, yes, okay. Hold on, before she even speaks, Alicia Ty. Okay. So don't feel free to go directly to her content. You do not have to kick it here with me. She probably creates a lot of great content. I've only seen this video so far and I've been stuck on it. So pardon me for not knowing more of her catalog. But her video is
This country of this
this video is about how racism has always been expensive. And I love this video so much. I just need y'all to listen to this video. Cause it really
So racism has always been expensive. It's always been expensive. It's just they always thought that they would have the fee. They always thought they would have the fee, and hell, for a good minute they did. They had the fee to give. See, the problem is now they don't have the fee. They don't have the fee, so it's becoming a problem. And rather than stop trying to pay the fucking fee, y'all will literally kill yourselves and kill the reputation of this country, of this nation, trying to pay a fee that y'all should have been stopped paying. Okay? Y'all should have been stopped paying. When colleges went from being tuition free to tuition based in 1960s, in the 1960s, that was all because y'all couldn't stop us from getting educated anymore, so you wanted to put a roadblock in there. You wanted to make it harder for us. We didn't have the capital like you guys did, so you added tuition. The reason why America doesn't have universal health care is because that means everybody would have access to it, that including people like me and you. And they don't want that. They thought that they would always have surgery money. They thought that they was always going to have outpatient care money. You understand? Private doctor money. Hell, I'm not going to an office. I can always have them come to me. That's what they thought they was always going to have. And as they started to see that they were losing leverage, rather than stop paying the fee for racism, they said, bitch, here, take my arm, take my leg, take my organs. To the point where you guys are where you are today, still trying to pay a fee, going out of your way to pay a fee. That literally is killing you. It's killing you. And then now that you're starting to realize that y'all really did fuck around a little bit too much, you want my pretty black ass to get up out of my seat to come and fight for you? Oh, you're fucking stupid. Oh, you're beyond stupid. You're beyond, my pretty self. You see me? Y'all see my brothers and sisters? They fine too. We supposed to get up out of our seats? Up out of our beds? And I heard a white woman literally said, black people, stay where you are. I would never take no advice from white people unless it was on how to be selfish, because that's the only thing that I think that they can give. However, this white lady said, do not get up out of your seats. You want to know why? They want us to get out and be in the streets so that now they can plot to kill us. Us doing exactly what we're doing, like, this is why they so hot. This is why they 50 degrees, like, they hot, because, so, racism has always been expensive.
Babe, this video really had me sitting with the reality that, you know, white people are experiencing anger. She really did. She really did. She ate them. She ate them up. And she definitely told no lies. And again, it's the ways that white people are still expecting, you know, their privilege. Like, it's the way that they're still expecting it. And like I was saying earlier, it's the way that, you know, I would see an event and I would just go to it, especially if it said it was a black event. Now, I just look and see if they're inviting other people, open to all people. I look and see for shit like that. Because again, if black folks are sharing the space, they'll tell you. If they're not, they'll tell you. And so that's where I'm at. But white people, unfortunately, have been showing up a lot of places and are still not sitting with the reality that, like, you know, everyone should have been able to go there, not just you. But now you can't go there either. And again, it's the way that I said Megan was only crying when she got kicked out the castle. She was only crying when her brown mother meant she couldn't be up in there. She's very happy to show you her brown mother. She's very happy to show you all the brown people that like her and be around her. She loves to do that. But she's only crying about white supremacy when it affects her. And again, it's the ways that white supremacy has impacted my life in so many ways. And while I like to think that I'm not just crying for myself, I definitely was crying a lot of times because of a white person betraying me in a way that I'm sure other people said, you know, again, it's the way that white supremacy is predictable. And for those of us who are not necessarily, like, I feel like I want to be super candid that, like, there was a part of me that just thought, I'm going to they're gonna do something, I'm gonna see it. Like, again, it's the way that I used to think that anti-blackness was something that was going to just happen out of nowhere. And if it's not happening from the beginning, if it's not like from jump, if they don't reveal themselves immediately, then it's not there. And it's the way now I actually see it, like, white supremacy is always there, like their white fragility is always there. And whether or not I'm willing to shake it early is going to mean how safe, like, it's going to tell me how safe I can be with this person moving forward. And I've been reaching out to white people recently, and letting them, get into a couple of the videos I've seen about whiteness from white people. And the results have been probably predictable to some, but in ways I feel like I've been just experiencing something that I didn't expect. Like, I didn't expect a lot of white people that I've been sending these videos to say to me, "Oh, um Jordan, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate you." But I feel like it's the way that I don't know all the way. Um Hmm, how do I say this? How do I say this? I feel like it's the way now. I don't think I need to uh look for an instance of anti-blackness like in the future. I could just be like broaching that topic immediately, but it's the way that I have to hold that I didn't want to like say that I didn't want to be like showing how aware I was of anti-blackness to this white person, and I didn't realize that's what it was. Like, I think in some ways, I know that being aware of anti blackness marks you, which is probably fucked up language, but I want to be super candid that, like, being aware of anti blackness, and talking about it candidly does change how you can move in certain rooms. I'm hungry. It's crispy chicken pad thai. If you get pad thai, get it with the crispy chicken. Everywhere don't do it. Everywhere don't make the chicken crispy, which is crazy to me. I'm very crazy. But me personally, if I can get the chicken crispy, I'm gonna get the chicken crispy. Anyways, but yeah, so um I was talking to this white man recently and he started like trying to like make me feel dumb. Like, he was like, we're all one race. We're all one species. And it's like, but that there's still a difference between our experiences. And he was just trying to tell me I was turning him off, that it wasn't hot to him, that I was noticing that he was white. And it was really funny to me. Yes, bitch. And I got extra peanut sauce. You already know. You already know. Mm. Just talking about it, I had to have more. Mm. But yeah. But this white man was really trying to come at me like, shut up, dummy. Like, really trying to play me like you should like, yeah, I'm white, but, and that shit hurt. That shit hurt. Because it's just like, what do you mean you're white, but? And then he was trying to like segue and be like, let's talk about music. And it's like, I don't want to talk about music with you. I don't want to talk about anything with you. And again, it's the way that like if I had talked to every white person like this in my life, if I had asked every white person that ever tried to talk to me, about anti-blackness, about white supremacy, we probably would not have dated. And I have to hold that like not everyone would have like passed the test. And it's not like I'm trying to test people. I'm more so my vibe genuinely is that I don't think that I want to be with anyone who doesn't have an idea on like how anti-blackness is unfolding, especially now. I want to be in community with people who see like it's racist out here. It's very racist out here. It's been racist out here. Um, and it's just the way that like I've had white people pop up on me and be like, "Hey, I stopped following you a couple years ago because I thought you were being really racist." And it's just funny, like, because it's like I don't take no delight in anybody realizing I wasn't fear mongering. I wasn't just saying that anti-blackness was everywhere and global to hurt your feelings. Like it feels good to know that there are people realizing that. That's great. But it's also frustrating as fuck. I'm not even gonna fucking play with you. Like the amount of white people who have told me I'm fucking racist, the amount of white people who told me that I don't know their heart, and it's just like, sweetie, fuck, It's like I don't know why you're taking this so personally. Like, I'm not saying you individual white person, but again, it's the way that white supremacy really makes them all one. And no, they really be saying you don't know my heart, but it's the way white supremacy makes them all like an amalgamous blob of whiteness. And if one of them is named, they're all named. And again, I think that for me is like the part of race that is just so bizarre, that like anybody can move as like a unit when like again like everyone is so diverse. I truly believe that. And again, it's the way that I watch content from black folks who talk about the diversity within blackness, and how like there are so many black folks who are told that like they need to perform this or that way, or else they're seen as an Oreo, and all the ways like there are black people who are told like this or that behavior is not a black behavior, as if that's not limiting as fuck and erasing as fuck. There are black people who are found. Black people, first of all, black people are found everywhere. Black people do all types of things. Black people like all type of music. Like there's not any way to describe black people as a monolith. There's no way. Like there are so many different types of black people. And so it's really frustrating again to just know that like within white supremacy, even within like people commenting on black people, other black people, talking about other black people, there's a desire to categorize or say like this or that is not black behavior. When again, like it's the way that like whiteness steals so much. Like it's the way some people will see a black person enjoying rock music as them being like white, and it's like they can't enjoy heavy bass. Again, it's the way that like I've seen a lot of black femmes like start like doing tarot card readings and getting more into different types of spirituality, and I sit in a space where like I'm very aware that there are some of them that are probably being called devil and demon by some damn body, and all they're doing is reading some cards. Like they're not engaged with any other spiritual demon or anything like that. But again, it's the way that there are so many black people doing so many things that are black things to do, that are things that people do, and people will still like look at that black person and be like, I don't know. Like that seems like something that someone black shouldn't be doing or wouldn't be doing. And again, the policing and the ways that like folks believe that like they know how black people are, or they know what black people like, or they know how black people are gonna feel about this or that thing. When it's like that is so erasing. We don't know all black people. And even the ways that like some folks will be like, hey, um, like I saw this post where someone was like, "Hey, black people, some of y'all are being transphobic. Like, I'm trying to understand why." And it's like, why are you asking all black people about the transphobic experience that you're experiencing with a few black folk? I'm not saying that I'm not seeing a rise in transphobia in cis black women, but I am about to ask all cis black women, like, "Hey, what's the deal with this transphobia?" Like, what the fuck? Like, that is wild. know what, Hale? I appreciate you. You know what though? Tribalism is so fascinating because again, like the tribalism of race, the tribalism of blackness, of whiteness, of the Latinidad, like it's just very fascinating to consider that there are people that know how you should be behaving. That is a fascinating concept to me. That there are people that already know how I should be. That is wild, don't you think? But again, I know that for some people that's kept them safe. And I feel like that's a part of the combo that I don't want to like miss because there have been the kind of disappearances recently that happen or happened or have been happening because I don't want to relegate shit 2 times because I feel like that's the other thing too. Like I'm really hating how people like somebody white really told me it's getting better today. Somebody white told me it's getting better in regards to anti-blackness and in regards to white supremacy. Exactly. This is why I sent him that video. Because he wouldn't say that if I didn't say something. Like, that's the thing. I hate that too. Because again, you really shouldn't have to do this. And then again, maybe I'm being naive again. Maybe I'm being naive. Yeah, you shouldn't have to do this, but you have to. Like, that doesn't mean, shouldn't have to and having to don't mean anything, right? But yeah, and again, that's like another lesson that my mixed self is learning the hard way. That like if you don't out yourself as someone that is not interested in like being colonizing or colonized, then you are met with like the colonizers' defenders, and it's like ah. And again, like people want to act like they wouldn't be a Nazi, they wouldn't ever harm anyone, but ask them directly what they think about white supremacy, and like you'll find out right then and there that they actually fucking hate your guts, and that's a scary thing. It's a scary thing, especially when like you already like know where this person lives or know where they know where you live. Like that's where I'm at. Like I'm not like telling anyone anything about my life until I know like how much I can be candid about white supremacy, because I'm never ever again gonna be around someone who can't handle me being candid about white supremacy or being candid about their white fragility. And again, it's the way that like you can't be sure. You just really can't be sure. Yeah, no, I don't know what the fuck they were talking about. Like, I literally, when I saw the message, I just was like, I want to redo my response to them too, because I'm just like, and I kept asking them like throughout the convo we were having, can we just like stop talking? Because it's like you're not giving me anything, and this other white person got me warned. Like, I got banned for 24 hours for telling somebody white that I don't trust them. I was like, yeah, I don't trust white people. And he got me in trouble for 24 hours, which was funny as fuck to me. Let me see. Oh my god, he is so annoying. So I sent him the video, and then he goes, I'll check out that video either today or tomorrow. My personal philosophy is there's one race. He said, there's one race, the human race. I said, that's true, but also white supremacy is still harming all of us, even white people. So he goes, I agree, but it's gotten better. It still is an issue that affects everyone. And I literally didn't respond. Then he goes, however, I could argue that it's the globalist and the oligarchy that is controlling everything now and making us turn against our neighbors. The WEF, World Economic Forum, is filled with a bunch of evil people who attend. But I would rather ask some less serious topics like, do you have a favorite movie or video game? I said, it's gotten better, is where I check the fuck out. I said, thanks for the time you took to explain your point of view, but the lack of emotional intelligence or self-awareness or simply listening to black people, it's not going to work. I said, it's sad, for real. I hope you shift in behavior. Then it gets worse, you guys. And I just want to, all the people at home, if you've got a fart to let out, if you got to take a shit, this is the time to do it. If you've got a weed, if you got a crack, this is time to hit your crack. A white man is about to tell us something. A white man is talking. I'm going to use my white man voice. I'm trying to figure out which white man voice to use. I think I'm gonna go for like Surfer Dad, Stony Baloney, you know? I mean, my ex was black, and I have a bunch of black friends in high school, college, and work. I am down with the movement, but I just feel like the focus needs to be on uniting people over workers, right? So we can all find common ground. That's what's gonna get us closer to unity. If we keep bringing skin color and culture into things, it will continue to divide us in the future. There's only one race, the human race. We can't. I'm sorry, I just didn't want my boyfriend to find me doing this. Ah! Now you found me doing this. Ah! Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bitch. If I could delete everything right now, if I could delete all this shit, no, he really was doing the most. Like, he was like, I'm down to talk about philosophy of white supremacy and its effect on the world, but I'd rather know what your favorite video game and movie is. Like, he keeps on trying to know about entertainment. It's like, girly, we're not talking about that. What the fuck? And I said, yes and no, race is a construct, but no, it doesn't stop there. And if you're ignorant, and I said, and your ignorance is offensive as fuck. Imagine being privileged in this scam and knowing it's a scam and still being patronizing. Sick. And then he goes, I'm no more privileged than anyone else. I went through three jobs last year who fired me for whatever reason they wanted. Babe, I'm not reading any more of this. It's just like, he's like, oh, I lost me job. I lost me job. And it's like, babe, we're not talking about the same shit. We're just not talking about the same shit. But like I said, I'm dying. I'm dying at my accent. I'm about to dip out. I'm about to dip out, you guys. Listen, we're gonna come back. I'm loving that I can be here and be talking to you on the laptop. It's been funny. But yeah, I'm gonna pause here just because I feel like, again, I could be laughing about this white man all day, but the fact that he really tried to tell me like it's getting better, it's like, whoa, like where are they? Where are they reporting live from space? It must be getting better in space. That's what I think. Anyways, I love you guys. Bye.